If you knew what your true yes was and what your true no was in all areas of your life, would you be able to choose faster and easier? What futures would those choices create? Everyone is capable of connecting to their bodies in a way to have more exuberant and joyful living now and in the future. Now, here is your host of Choosing a Different Future with Siris.
Hi everyone, I'm Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo, and you're here on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. So glad to be here with you today. Our show topic for today is how to use sexual healing to create a great life. Yum! It's gonna be awesome. This show is all about the choices that we can make so that we can have a different future beyond what's been projected and expected of us. So I share some tips and some strategies and provide some resources and my own experiences. And then I also have guests every once in a while, every couple of weeks. I have a guest next week I'm excited about that we'll talk more about in a little bit. But I am also a family and child coach, a body relationship coach, and an energetic therapeutic energy worker. And we're going to talk about how those intersect given this theme of today. A lot of people are like, well, how would this work with families and kids? It absolutely is connected in here as well. I have a very different take on this, but I am often, it's pointed out to me pretty often about this, but I think it'll contribute to you. So even if you're thinking, oh, this is going to be all about sex and relationships, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And there are going to be tips in here as well for you with your kids and with families if that's relevant to you. And when it comes to being a body relationship coach, and part of what I'll be doing with us today, so you can get a bit of a sense of what that can feel like, and so you can experience it, is I awaken different energies in my body, and I invite those energies, whichever way it wants to show up in your body, to turn on. And then with that, you can see what it creates, what clarity it provides, what messages your body gives you, so that you can actually partner with your body more effectively to create a phenomenal life. Not just okay, not just good, phenomenal. What would that be like? And also, I want to make sure that you know of some of our upcoming events. We have a couple of tasters coming up for the Living and Dying Body process, which is a body process all about looking at living, what you add to your life to create more, and dying, what you let go of to create more as well. Both very expansive, very gentle, nurturing energies. And so we're going to have some tasters coming up for that. Check out the events page on my website, empoweringlightlanguage.com. And we also have an awakening class where people get to give and receive and learn how to play with this body process themselves, add it to their arsenal. And that's going to be Saturday, June 24th, in person in Charlotte, North Carolina, and live streaming from anywhere you are in the world. We have the Expansive Energies group. That group is a group where we meet 2 times a month for 45 minutes to do group therapeutic energy work sessions for those that are wanting to prioritize their self-care. Those are for people who are often giving to other people, are putting them as a priority, and what if you could actually make your self-care a priority as well, so that you can be even more effective as you're looking out for other people. And so the information for that is on our website, and it's empoweringlightlanguage.com/expansive energies. Yum, yum, yum. And I want to have a big shout out to the people who went to our last Being a Different Possibility for Families call in March. A lot of people sent in questions. There were some people on live. Forgive me, there were some tech issues for some of the people that were trying to log in, but then you sent me messages, so I really, really appreciate that. And the theme of that last call was organization, clearing, and making space for the new. And that's actually going to come into our conversation today a little bit as well. But thank you for those that participated, and the replays for that are still available. If you go to the events page, you can actually click on our monthly Being a Different Possibility for Families image and submit your request for any of the replays of the previous ones, and it'll also register you for the upcoming ones. In April 24th, we have Planting Seeds for Communication Success. And May 22nd, we have Thriving with Your Family. Are you living or dying with your family? So this is really to provide a support space, a judgment-free space, so that people can get additional strategies and tools for their lives and for anything related to family, including the families that you were perhaps a part of in the past that maybe you don't have that same relationship with them now. And I was sent in a comment after last week's episode on coming out as a healer. Thank you for holding me accountable, y'all. I felt it as well. People were like, you mentioned these two books at the very end, and I just ran out of time. It was such a big topic. I might have to do another one on coming out in a different way. Maybe coming out as an empath. If you're interested, let me know. But one of the things that I mentioned, I'm going to have the book out again. It's this book on living yoga, creating a life practice by Christy Turlington. Love, love, love this book. I got it, I think, in my late teens, early 20s, so it's quite old. Not that I'm old, but the book is old. And it goes through all these different aspects of yoga beyond the asanas, really looking at it in a holistic, complete way so that you can have a greater relationship with your body and this life practice with yoga, which is one of the most beautiful practices I've ever been a part of, that has been a huge part of my healing journey and my journey as a healer. And then the other book that I mentioned very, very quickly at the end, very rushedly, was The 10 Keys to Total Freedom by Gary M. Douglas and Dr. Dane here. So I'm mentioning it again because I know I rushed it last time. And it's each chapter is a different key, a different tool or consideration for you to play around with, so that you can have total freedom. I revisit these all the time. I'm actually about to reread it again, because as soon as you feel that your gifts as your abilities to perceive other people, their thoughts, their emotions, their bodies, and it starts to feel really contractive and heavy or like an overwhelm, then you're probably not functioning from one of these keys to total freedom. And so I definitely benefit reminding myself, hey, which one of these keys could I use here? Let's unlock this. And super, super helpful. Really, really great book. And it's actually, I think, a telecall series as well that's available on the accessconsciousness.com website if you go to it. So check that out. Thank you for letting me know that you were interested in those books and that you wanted to know their names. Now, today's show. Today's show is all about, there we go. Today's show is all about how to use sexual healing to create a great life. Yum, 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 yum. Every time I read the title, I'm like, yeah, more of that, please. What would that be like? So, are you a sexual healer? What would it look like for you to use sexual healing to your advantage more? I suspect that if you're listening to this, you probably are already getting the inkling that you've been using it in some way, in some capacity so far. And so it's about acknowledging that and expanding beyond that. And people can use their innate gifts with bodies, with energy, with healing to add energy, joy, clarity, and abilities to their repertoire. And what would you like to add to your life? How could you use this? So I'm going to give a lot of different examples today. Throughout my life, I have had people coming to me really unclear of what they can do to improve their lives. And I ask them some questions, I give them some examples, I connect them to some resources, and they get clear. And some people require a little bit more of a personalized approach where they need to have conversations on a regular basis. They need to start undoing their limiting beliefs. Perhaps they need to stop the patterns of like self-imposed adversity and struggle. Does this resonate with any of you? It definitely was relevant to me for a very long time. Or maybe they need an accountability partner such as myself that they can lean on as they explore these new spaces and possibilities, and they get to know themselves. They get to know themselves, they get to build up their confidence and start to awaken their desires and acknowledge what their desires truly are so that they can create great lives. So today We will talk about what a sexual healer is, what a sexual healer is not, and there's a lot of misconceptions about this, and what you can do to use sexual healing to create a great life. Great life. I think I probably was doing this when I was introducing today's episode's topic in last week's call for coming out as a healer, but all morning I've been singing the song, Sexual Healing. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's make love tonight. It just like stuck in my head. But like that is the energy of sexual healing for me. It is super fun. It's irreverent. It's silly. It's playful. There's a joy to it. And the live audience are saying, we're singing along with you. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for singing along with me. My screen is doing kind of funny things today. Hold on one second. All right, here we go. So thank you for that. Sing along. I know I'm probably not totally on key, but man, it's fun, right? It's fun. So some characteristics of a sexual healer. This can show up in infinite ways. I continually hear of new ways that this shows up all the time, which I love. So I'm going to give some examples. And if you know of another way it can show up that you'd like to share, I would love to hear it. And you can email me at empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. So some people who have sexual energy, everyone I think actually has sexual energy. Now, do you actually use it or not? Is it actually something that's of value to you? Those are very different considerations. But a sexual healer is someone that has access to orgasmic energy. Hello bodies. And who receives from and with bodies, including their own body. Now, you can use this ability to receive from and with bodies for you, yay, or against you. Oh, so tired. Oh, in so much pain. Oh my goodness. I'm so stressed out. All of these things. So I have always been a sexual healer, and yet it took me a while to learn to be aware of where I was using it against me and where I could use it way more for my benefit and for me to be able to breathe easier, which is the first step to exuberant living. If you're not breathing, you're not really having you with these energies and with these abilities. So some possible ways it can show up. So do you ever have a feeling where like you have sex with somebody and maybe initially it's really fun, and then the next day they feel amazing and you feel like a truck hit you? You're a sexual healer. Or if you talk to somebody on the phone and you have this conversation with them and they feel inspired, they feel more hopeful, they get clearer on what they can do next, and you feel exhausted and drained and really grumpy and like, then you're a sexual healer. What if you're in a crowd? You go to the mall, you go to a festival, you go to a concert, and in experience, maybe you're like, wow, it's amazing, the music's playing, woo, and you come home and you are super, super drained. And this is not about introverts or extroverts. I hear people who identify as introverts or extroverts both express different experiences that match these different examples I just mentioned. So let's look at this a little bit more. It is time for our first break of the show. Okay, we're going to get into this. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about all these different things related to how to use sexual healing to create a great life. You are listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I am Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic is how to use sexual healing to create a great life. And please make sure to connect with us in our live chat room or join us through the ICN app, the Inspired Choices Network app. Remind yourself to subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe to any of our 450 platforms for smart TV and podcasts that we're broadcast through. And our show is brought to you by Activated Liquid Collagen from LifeVantage. Liquid collagen is a different, better collagen supplement. Get real results that you can see and feel. Check out the Activated Liquid Collagen and LifeVantage's other natural plant-based products to address anti-aging, gut health, energy, and more by going to www.sirisrivas.lifevantage.com. And so before we went on break, we were starting to talk about how some of the ways that being a sexual healer can show up. Lots of different ways. Here's the thing. Are you willing to have energy flowing through you? That is not a small question. I thought that it would be like, of course, most of my life. And then I started recognizing that a lot of people really, really have a hard time with that idea because they have the idea that there's good energy and bad energy. What if that actually wasn't true? What if it's just energy and your point of view about it, your label on it, your judgment of it is what makes it either good or bad? And how much energy were you actually limiting by having it be a polarity of good or bad? What if all of the energy can be orgasmic energy? What if all of the energy is actually within you and available to you at any given moment? And I say this, and I continually need to remind myself of this as well. Okay? So it takes practice, especially if you've had a lot of stressors, a lot of changes in your life. You may need reminders of this. Be like, oh, that's right. This isn't actually my reality. This whole, oh, there's a scarcity. There's not enough energy. There's not enough time. No, that's actually not true. A sexual healer is able to choose beyond time, to actually flow with the energy, with the conscious, with our bodies, with our awareness, to have more, and including more ease. So, okay, I got us a question sent in, funny enough, very simple. It's like, well, is it possible for two sexual healers to come together? Come C-O-M-E or come C-U-M? And the answer is yes to both. Yay! And when they come together, both they meet in the same space or they actually get to C-U-M come together. Oh, magic. Magic happens, because the other thing that sexual healers do, is part of the name, is they heal. They heal. And one of the things that then can happen when sexual healers, two of them or more, come together, is that you actually get to expand each other's world You get to create more space for each other instead of just it being one person has more space and ease and the other one's left with all of the sludge and the heavy and the crap. Okay. So yes, you can do that. And I highly recommend having more and more sexual healers in your life because it's not actually about the sex. It's about the receiving. I'm going to say that one more time. Sexual healing is actually not about the sex. It's about the receiving. And so you can receive from anyone. You can receive more energy from anyone, inspiration, lessons, awareness. It's about receiving. So where are you refusing to receive? Where are you refusing to embody this capacity that you have? And so I'm gonna go through some of these different areas of our lives, and you let me know either in the live chat or you can send me a message afterwards if you catch this later. Which of these areas that you're like, I realize I'm not really actually willing to receive as much as I could in this area. What's that about? So, health. Let's start with health. I love health. It's super important to me, all areas of health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, you name it. And there is a lot of research that shows that orgasmic energy, having orgasms both during and afterwards, have huge physiological changes that have vast implications for our immune systems, for our mental and emotional state. Our happy hormones turn on, they get released. It provides us some clarity. It actually undoes some of the contraction of our muscles relax with this, especially depending on the type of orgasm you have. We can talk more about that. And it increases circulation. So there's benefits for heart health as well and cardiovascular health. These are just a few. And so let's consider an area of your health that you would like to have more ease with. Are you willing to receive energies and flow? We did that call on having your ooh-ah flow. Look that episode up if you'd like. It's really, really yummy. And we actually guide you through how to do that a little bit. And I'm going to do that today as well, but we did a lot of it in that episode. And notice what parts of your body actually have ease, are soft, are pliable, are strong, but flexible, have limberness to them, and which of them have rigidity, are tight, have pain. Maybe there's allergies or a sensitivity to something environmentally or otherwise that is affecting that. Well, it's interesting. I had all of that and more going on in my life. As many of you know, if you've been listening to the show, I had chronic pain. I had anxiety and depression. I had insomnia. I had so much going on with my respiratory system, with my reproductive system. There was probably not one system of my body that wasn't impacted by so many different things. I had to rebuild my immune system. And even through all of that, I was orgasmic and I prioritized that because, man, it's a great pain reliever, especially if you find the right positions. Even if this hurts here, you can find a little angle there, get a little pillow there. And it helped me have a sense of hope. It expanded my world. It helped illuminate the path beyond all the pain, beyond all of the buzzing anxiety that I had. Okay. And so, and it also for me, and maybe this may or may not be relevant to you, it also reminded me of what was worthwhile about living on this planet. That sense of joy that you get when it's really yummy. And I'm not actually talking about it related to anybody else. I could have had it with partners. I chose to do that sometimes. I also had long stretches of time, like months and years, where I was single. But I would still prioritize making sure that I was having orgasms and making sure that it was nurturing to me and that I had that spaciousness with it. So one of the things that I want to mention and not forget to mention and wait till the end is this book that I got. Gosh, when was this published? Because I had this for so long, I don't even remember. I'm looking at the book. This was published in 2002. So I've had this book since sometime between now and 2002. It's called Expanded Orgasm: Soar to Ecstasy at Your Lover's Every Touch. The only thing with this, and don't let the title and the subtitle fool you. It also actually talks about it, even if you don't have a lover, what you can do to have expanded orgasms. And part of what I love about this is I was already, like I said, orgasmic, but I was noticing that a lot of my orgasms were very contracted, where my muscles would be really tight, where I would actually not always feel more energized afterwards. I would maybe feel more depleted. So I picked up this book and I was like, well, what's this about? Because I got that this would contribute to me in my body. And I learned to have more expanded orgasms where there is a letting go of control, letting go of the worries, of the cares, creating this beautiful oasis in with myself or with me and my partner, so that the world kind of gets softer, goes more into the background, and you're in this beautiful space together. And many people, both men and women, there's this cliche, right? That, oh, a guy has an orgasm and then he goes immediately to sleep. Well, I've had that with women too. I've been with women that as soon as they have orgasms with me, or they've told me without me as well, that they'll feel really tired. They'll feel really like done, like, all right, and I'm spent. And so it's not just men that this can happen for, and it's because of this idea of expanded orgasm versus contracted orgasm. And so look at this for yourself. And if you'd like some experience and guidelines for how to do that, check out this book. Also, I'm going to be on the Pleasure Zone with Melitza. She's also one of our Inspired Choices Network hosts. And she's done a couple of really amazing calls on expanded orgasm and having orgasms your way. So definitely check out her podcast as well. It's called The Pleasure Zone. All right, lots of beautiful research, and she's very research based, which is one of the things I really respect about her, about how to do this in a unique way. I'm going to go into it and talk about some other aspects of having these, using your sexual healing abilities, but we're going to go into that a little bit more. But definitely check her out. And I'm actually going to be on her show in April, and then she's going to be a guest on this show in May. We're going to be geeking out about different things. For her show, the first one, I think we're going to be geeking out about all these different pleasure-based books and books that are related to relationships and all of the yum. And then on my show, we're going to talk about movies, because you know I love movies, or maybe you don't, but I do. And then we're going to go back to her show and talk about, I think, TV shows, perhaps, something like that. So we got it. We're toggling back and forth, but definitely check out her show. She's amazing. So the other way, so sexual healing. What about business? Have you ever considered actually using your abilities as a sexual healer with business? And it's not just flirting with potential clients or in networking events. It's actually having energies flowing during meetings, while you're doing paperwork, when you're prospecting. I did a call, I think it was November of 2021, and it was called "Are You Living or Dying with Business?" And I talked about different elements of living. There's 9 categories of the elements of living. I actually have an ebook and a self-paced course on it. You can check it out. It talks about how each of these different categories have different ways of contributing to your business if you'd like, including when you're starting a business, when you'd like to upscale and up-level it, when you're looking to get content created, when you'd like to be more visible or more vulnerable. We talked about that and introduced these different elements of living, or these archetypes of living and dying, in that call. It was really, really cool. And one of the things that came about was that a lot of people didn't really recognize that their gifts with healing, their gifts with bodies and awareness, their gifts about and abilities around living, like what is exuberant living with them, how that connected with business. It was like business was here on one side and living was on this other side, and never the twixt shall meet. Is that the quote? And that's actually really difficult. That makes things a lot more challenging, and it doesn't have to be so hard. What if your business contributed to your body? And what if your body contributed to your business? That's what I choose. And so as soon as business is affecting my body, I know I need to change something in my business. And if my body isn't making doing business easier, then I need to change something with my body. Okay? So, or the environment that my body's in, these other things like that. So one of the things that I also look at with this is I did a call, gosh, I think it was called The Art of Seducing Your Business. It was like a 3-part series. I don't even remember what year it was. Maybe it was like 2018, 2019. And this idea of seduction, well, where seduction and business intersect is where true receiving and play and possibility can show up. But a lot of us have been told that seduction, that flirtation can only be done with certain people or in a certain way and at a certain time, maybe even a certain location. There's a lot of constraints on seduction. And when we blow out all of those parameters and we really look at, well, where would it create more for me to have more seduction in my life? You not only can apply that with business to have an easier time doing business your way, you can actually apply this to any area of your life, including undoing any of those self-imposed limitations. So let me go and start another break, okay? And we're going to talk more about this after the break. You're listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we will continue to discuss how to use sexual healing to create a great life. We'll be right back.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo, and you're here listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic is how to use sexual healing to create a great life. Our show is brought to you by Activated Liquid Collagen from LifeVantage. Liquid collagen is a different, better collagen supplement. Get real results you can see and feel. Check out the Activated Liquid Collagen and LifeVantage's other natural plant-based products to address anti-aging, gut health, energy, and more by going to www.sirisrivas.lifevantage.com. And just so you know, we are accepting new sponsors for our show. So if you would like to expand your reach and get access to our listeners, please feel free to email me at empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com with the subject line sponsors. And so before we went on break, we were talking about how we can use our abilities as a sexual healer for business and for health. Now, here's the other thing with that I want to make sure I don't forget to mention. is that all of these different things have to do with choice and having clarity. And so one of my little like life hacks that I love to do that not many people know about is that when I am confused about something, when I have like mental fog, or I'm not sure what next step to take, I increase the energy flows within my body. I start pulling from the earth, and you can do this with me as I'm saying it if you'd like. I pull energy from the earth up my feet and into my body. I'll pull energy from the universe up and into the top of my head and into my body. I'm ambidextrous energetically, and so I'll also receive energy through my hands and can flow energy with both of my hands. I say this because I've learned that some people have more of a dominant hand when it comes to energy work as well. And so I'll receive energies and I'm like, hey, come on in through my hands. And just notice if you've chosen to do this and asking those energies to flow and flow and flow, how your body feels. And if you're not sure how this could be like, ask your body, hey, let's do what Siris's body is doing our way. It doesn't have to be like what my body's doing because everybody's different, but you can actually invite it to duplicate what my body's doing. Yeah, ramping it up. Awesome. So this is really, really cool because what I'll do then is if I'm not sure about something, or let's say like before these episodes, if there's an episode where the energies are particularly charged, like a lot of people have a lot of blocks and a lot of fear and lies around sexualness and sexuality and copulation and all these different things. And so before some of these calls, or, before I did the call in December on honoring those who have passed, there was a lot of sadness and grief that was coming up that I was aware of. Well, instead of being like, nope, not receiving that, putting up the walls, blocking it, I was like, hey, let it come on through and let me actually transmute it into pure energy. Let me transmute it into the energy that's going to be super generative and yummy for my body. And so, yes, this is a practice just like yoga. It's a life practice of playing with these energies and of actually allowing for it to contribute to you and make things easier instead of making it harder for you. So let me know if you did that, where you did the energy flows and you received more energy into your body. Let me know how it felt to you. You can go ahead and email me. I'd love to hear from you. Now, how about money? We talked about business. We talked about health. Financial health is one of the healths. Yeah. I mentioned this in the self-care call that we did for the being a different possibility for families. There's big five. And one of the big five is financial health, and one of the areas that we need to care for ourselves. Well, I was interviewed, funny enough, I think this was also a couple of years back now. Does anybody else have a challenging time like marking dates since the last couple of years? I know I do. I already wasn't like great with it. But it wasn't really super significant unless it was an appointment. But now I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Was it a year ago? Was it 5 years ago? Yeah. And so, I'm timing in the chat. Everyone's like, yeah, yep. It got hard out of nowhere. Yeah, that's what she said. So the comment in the chat was, it got hot out of nowhere. And then I put that bad joke in there. So for money, I was interviewed by Natalie and John Ashford Jr., yes, who I just adore. And they were doing a podcast series for a while on Facebook called Conversations in Consciousness. And it was all about how sex and dating can make you money. And so they were asking me about that. Well, what do I know about how sex and dating can make you money? And I remember talking about this idea of seduction and really looking at actually taking your business on a date and taking your household on a date and taking your partner on a date. For me, that's all the same thing. I am dating everything in my life. I'm dating the kids that I work with. I'm dating the families I'm working with. I'm dating my partners. I'm dating my house, I'm dating my family. And when I look at it from the lens of dating and flirtation and seduction in that way, all of that will make me money. All of that will increase my receiving. And let me explain this a little bit more, because even them, they were like, what? What do you mean? So let me be clear. Kids are the biggest flirts. If you work with kids, if you have kids, you know this to be the case. They will manipulate, they will bat their eyes, they will pout their lips, they will do crocodile tears. My sister used to practice crying in front of the mirror. She would have the mirror in front of her, she would go like this, and then look up and like check how she looked, and then she'd go and look up again in the mirror and check. She would practice this, okay? Kids are the biggest flirts. They are the greatest manipulators. They are very seductive. How can you not give a kid a hug who asks you for a hug? How can you not want to joke around and play when they're like, hey, can we play? Can we play? And this includes our fur babies, right? All of our animals and our babies. So when I looked at it that way, I was like, wow, if I didn't think about, oh, good energy or bad energy, yes, I stay appropriate. I'm not being improper with the kids, but I recognize them as flirtatious beings. And what I do then is I look at, well, what are their interests? And how do I have to speak with them? What's the communication style that they benefit from? What are the things that I can do? How can I dress? How can I move my body so that they're put at ease, that they're having more fun? And I do this with as many people as I can and with as many aspects of my life as I can. I arrange my home to have a flow and an energy. There's colors on the wall, there's artwork. There, I don't like when everything's really cluttered. I'm actually going to move some things out of my office because I just got the aha, you know what? I need a little bit more space, because visually it can be a bit too much for me sometimes in a sensory way. So what if we actually looked at all these different areas of our life and dated these different things of our lives, and we're willing to have ourselves as sexual healers, where we are willing to have these orgasmic energies, we're willing to receive information from our house, from our business, from our friends, and then see what we have to add to create more, that's the living, and what we have to let go of to create more, that's the dying. It's a very different take, I get it, but one of the things that has happened with the people that I do this with, from kids to adults, to my friends, to my family, is when I remember to do this, and I must admit, I don't always remember, but more times than not, I do, so yay. When I remember, it builds their confidence. The kids and the people, they're more invested in their learning or in that project, in the thing that we're talking about. It has things progress faster, and people get clarity, including myself. I have clarity with them faster. And so we wouldn't have things be easier and faster for what reason? It's just a choice, but I'm really curious. For those who are like, yes, I want it to be super slow, please. I don't get it, but I don't have to get it. You get to choose for you. You get to choose what's going to work for your life. And so I actually teach parents to be more flirtatious with their kids. That means that they get to have a greater sense of joy. They're building rapport and memories instead of it just being one way. Flirtation is a reciprocity, a dance, a flow of energy between two or more things or two or more people. So you wouldn't want to receive from your kids for what reason? If you're a teacher, if you're an educator, if you're a medical professional, you wouldn't want to receive from your students or your patients for what reason? And when I asked myself this question years ago, I got that I was blocking the receiving, and I wasn't willing to flirt in the same way with everybody as much as I could, because I was either having someone else's ideas in my head, their voice talking, be like, oh, that's not appropriate, that's not going to work, blah, 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 blah. Or, I just had it, where did my train of thought go? Or it was that I wanted to make myself superior. Glad I remember that one, because as hard as that is to say right now, it was true. If if there is an area of your life, if there is a person that you're like blanket, oh, absolutely, I will never flirt with them, I will never use my sexual energies and abilities with them, then there's probably somewhere where you're not willing to receive from either them, you, or both. And since I'm looking to receive more, especially more of myself and my gifts and how I can show up on this planet, on this beautiful world and impact the world more, well, I'm really been dedicating myself to increasing my receiving. And it ebbs and flows. It's not like always exponentially more and more and more in any one area, but it's definitely overall been exponentially more ever since I really got this aha about what if I didn't make myself superior to other people and actually allowed myself to receive from more and more people. And I've definitely been getting some big lessons about that, even in just the last couple of months and years. I even wrote about it recently in my blog, so check that one out. My blog is empoweringlightlanguage.com/blog. And I spoke about how I've learned a lot about resilience and its relationship to receiving in the last few months. And so if you're interested in that, and that resilience is something that you care about or that you're interested in, go ahead and check out that blog post. And it's time for our next break, my lovelies. You are listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, myself, Siris, on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we will continue to discuss how to use sexual healing to create a great life. We'll be right back.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you. This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo. I'm Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic is how to use sexual healing to create a great life. So before we went on break, we were talking about how we can use these abilities with business, with health, with choice and creation, with money, with dating, with parenting, with learning. There's so many different ways that we can apply this. Here's the thing. We did get a question sent in about dating. So, and it was basically talking about, well, how does this apply with dating? How can I be more effective at finding people that are going to be a good fit for me? Thank you for sending in that question. One of the things, it makes me think of different people I've dated over the course of my life. And since I started dating at 11, there's been a lot of dating and a lot of exes and a lot of people that used to be exes and are now friends. I don't even really call them just exes. And one of the things that I recognize is how much is the person willing to receive me and how much am I willing to receive them? And when I actually make a point of asking that as I'm getting to know someone, I know within a few interactions, like max 3 dates, if that, if it's actually going to work out, if it's actually going to be somebody that is going to be nurturing and kind to me, if we're going to have fun and adventures together, if the sex is going to be good, even before we've had sex. I can know this because I can see by asking that question, I can perceive if my energy is being received by them and if they're willing to actually flow energy to me or if they're hoarding it. And over the course of my long dating journey, so long, I must give myself credit. I have learned to choose people more and more and more that are willing to receive more and more and more of me, and that I'm willing to receive more and more and more of them. And as I'm receiving more of them, it increases my receiving of everything and everyone that I would really like to have more of, instead of it cutting me off from people. The people, like when you're in a relationship and all of a sudden your money is being depleted in your bank account and you're like, where's all the money going to? Well, you've been cutting off your receiving by this person that you're dating. So that's where it's going. There's some kind of energetic blocks that are being created there. Sometimes actual literal blocks to receiving. And so, it makes me think my boyfriend, my partner, Justin, we were dating, and then I recognized pretty quickly, wow, he's amazing. And I will not have sex with him, because as soon as I have sex with him, it's going to be a wrap. I'm done. I'm not going to want to date anybody else. And I admitted that to him. And then I had some ahas, and my grandmother passed away, and we revisited the conversation, and he guided me through that really, really challenging part of my life. And I remember there was this time when we chose each other again, and it was after we sat together with my legs wrapped around his waist. We were outside in front of a Korean barbecue restaurant. And we were talking about energy. We were talking about receiving and flowing and just us and life. And we started flowing energy back and forth between each other, just for fun, just to see what would happen. And it was a wrap. I didn't have sex with him as in copulation, but we absolutely had sex in front of this restaurant in the middle of Charlotte, in downtown Charlotte. And so this is the difference, though, is that I actually saw clearly myself. I saw myself more clearly through those energy flows, and he saw himself more clearly, and we were both happier, and we were both more relaxed. And then the whole world went away, even though we were completely clothed in a public space in the middle of Charlotte. And these are the things that can happen when we choose people that can receive us. And so I teach people how to flow these energies, how to perceive when someone's willing to receive them and when they're not willing to receive them. And it's a really, really important tool to have, because it affects every type of relationship, not just romantic dating. So if you're interested in learning how to do that for dating, for family, for business, let me know and reach out. But it's a really powerful tool, and it's really key to knowing how to self-advocate and ask for what you need. Which, funny enough, I was just interviewed on Megan Walrod's show, and she's about to be our guest next week, so you definitely should check her out. And check out my episode on her show on self-advocacy and exuberant living, if you just search Megan Walrod's show. And it's talking about speaking up for yourself. It's talking about advocating yourself and courageously choosing something different than your family, your friends, your colleagues have ever chosen or are even considering. And so next week, I'm going to be talking with Megan on, what's the topic? I'm looking for it. Okay. Ditching yourself. Break free of codependence with Megan Walrod. And so it's looking at, does the age-old pattern of codependence have you ditching yourself, abandoning what's important to take care of other people's needs or wants, and burying your own dreams to prioritize others' dreams? If so, you're not alone. This is a real epidemic that plagues too many modern women, but there is hope. There is a way to break free from self-abandonment and come home to yourself. So in this episode, Megan, who's a mentor in the art of brave living, will share her own story about how she ditched herself for decades and what it finally took to end this cycle of codependency and people-pleasing. So the two of us will identify the signs that you're ditching yourself so that you can become more aware of this insidious pattern, I love that word, and share questions you can ask and action steps you can take to prioritize yourself and your dreams without feeling guilty. Ooh, I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Megan. I'm so excited to talk to you soon, and we'll see each other next week. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Choosing a Different Future show. Siris returns Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Mountain, and 7 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, keep choosing what will work for you and your body, your own unique way honoring what will work for you.